Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Tone Base YouTube channel. And this is going to be one of these unfortunate episodes where we talk about our good friend and that unfortunately passed away earlier this week. And of course, I am talking about Tyler Jenks. And for this episode, uh, Leah Wald has been gracious enough to join me on this episode, and we will spend a little bit of time just talking about what Tyler meant to us. And Leah, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Tone. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, it's been a really rough time for everyone. I know a lot of people are expecting the live chat to be working, but normally the live chat is on. But I did decide to turn off the live chat for this one, just not to be distracted by the live chat. It will come back on the next episode we do. And I don't normally drink beer, but since beer was a part of Tyler's show when Socrates joined, and I really don't feel like opening another bottle of wine tonight, I'm going to go ahead and open a beer. I know, Leah, you had a little bit. What were
A
you
little
drinking?
bit of Pisco's, but I to at least make light when you're talking about beer. And this is a good thing the live chat's not on, and I'm not. This is like weird for us, by the way, to not have the live chat on.
I
I
know.
feel like you do know the Dos Equis guy, the most
Hmm.
interesting man in the world. I feel like you have to make a most interesting man in the world quote as you're opening a beer.
I know. We literally have a little bit of a fireside chat going. I am at my cabin in Pennsylvania. So I'll be spending the night tonight. And let's talk about Tyler. Let's just talk about, I want to talk about the timeline. I want to talk about how, I want to start with how we all met and just do a little bit of history and then talk about what he meant to us. And I'll start myself. I'll start how I remember it all, and then Leah can fill in some blanks.
Well, I'll
For
mute myself because it
you're
is a
gonna,
funny story.
yeah, you're gonna fill in some blanks for two reasons. One, you're a lot younger than me with a much better memory and also
No.
smarter, and and two, you've known Tyler a lot longer. So just to give people a background, I went back through the emails. It was funny looking for the email that you sent me for the first time too. Maybe
I'll
one day
have to tell that story, but yeah.
maybe one day we'll share those emails. But Tyler emailed me in October of 2017. So basically, at the very height of uh, of the Bitcoin, bubble and the crypto bubble in general. And I shared that email with people. So he started off that email by praising me with my knowledge of sequential. And what really got me is the fact that he said that Tom DeMark didn't invent it, which really caught my attention. And he probably knew it was going to catch my attention. And he basically mentioned his background. I replied to that email, and then he replied back to me, and I believe I replied back to him one more time. But then, I back then I was reading my own emails, um, but which doesn't really happen these days. But so that's how I kind of met Tyler through email. Then about a month later in November, and Tyler, actually, after I got to know Tyler, he said one of the reasons why he really liked my channel and my analysis wasn't because of my crypto, was actually the way I was covering the stock market in the for the upcoming election coming up in November. He said of all the analysts that was covering the stock market, I analyzed it correctly. A, I anticipated Trump winning. B, I wanted Trump to win. And C, the way I anticipated markets to move after Trump wins the election. And that's what he told me that really drew him to my channel. But um, but then in November, you emailed me, and because you had just started watching my channel, and I was just coming into DC, and we met up for a drink. It was you, me, and one of my other friends, Gus, and we met up for a drink, and that's how we met. That was back in November, and then I believe I was back in DC either December or January. I don't remember which one it was, but that's when the connection between you and Tyler was made. You actually emailed me in December telling me about your friend Tyler. And at the time, I didn't really make the connection that Tyler had already emailed me before. But then in January, or probably January, I came back to Washington, D.C. for to do my workshop. It might have been February, something like that, and early February. And Tyler also came to town, and then all of us had dinner at your parents' place. So I got to meet your brother and your whole family, and Tyler was there. And that must have been early February. And then that's when you guys had just started your YouTube channel. And then after that, I had Tyler on my channel in February, and it all took off from there. So that was basically the timeline of how all of us met. And yeah, so go ahead, give a little background on Tyler, and then we're gonna talk about what he's meant to us over the last 2 years. Well, for me, it's been 2 years. For you, it's probably been about what, 15?
About 15. Yeah, there is a lot of funny things to that. I'm happy to. I'm gonna get disparaged if I tell the rest of the story of how I pretended to work in catering to be able to get into Tone's event to even be able to have this meeting. And that he responded to my email because I had talked about blockchain in my Miss Maryland pageant interview, which is very ridiculous. But yes, it was early February because it was Valentine's Day when you did your workshop. And I remember the whole class making fun of you of saying, hey, by the way, my girlfriend or boyfriend is very, well, for the most part, it's mostly men that do attend your workshops, but my girlfriend's pissed at you right now for doing it on Valentine's Day. So I remember that. Yeah, I mean, the meeting was interesting. I guess what I was thinking about today when, and I guess I'm not fully answering your question. I'll move to it in a second. But what I was thinking about today when you said you were going to do this, and I realized, okay, I'm okay to do this. Maybe it's the Peace Coast hours, but yes, I can handle it. Was that if you remember when you came and I had Tyler drove down from Pennsylvania. He's his hero. I will talk about that probably in a second. He brought all his charts where he had physically drawn the hyperwaves on, like, it looked like papyrus. I'm telling you guys, like it's like if you guys have ever taken like any of the webinars, like of the old stock charts that he bought, that are from like the 1940s. Like he had a crazy man booklet. And he had drawn all these hyperwaves and created this thing, and also given you the Larry Williams thing. And just so everybody here knows, the only person he actually shared it with was Stone. And it was the only person that he wanted to talk to about hyperwave. And yes, there's, he always talks, actually, he talked about it on air. He maybe didn't talk about it to everybody as much, but he had announced and talked about hyperwave theory near the 2000s, and it was covered in a lot of publications, and he regretted talking about it then. And then fast forward, and he used it for Bitcoin, but also just for some reason, Tone, and I do know the reason, he was just so impressed by you, proud of you, excited by you, that actually you were the one person in the world that he wanted to share it with. So for everybody who's listening, actually, you can know that that's what started, and that's why our show happened. Is that you were it. I mean, so yeah, you guys were at my house, getting totally wasted. My brother was grilling you. You were grilling my brother.
Your brother and I had like a long debate over the use case of a blockchain, and I think in hindsight I won that one because he was building a company to build blockchains, and they shut that down.
I don't know if you won it. Because at least my brother would never admit to losing an argument. Let me just tell you that. I remember that you looked over at me and you were like, why aren't you trying me in? And I remember very explicitly being like, I'm not touching this one. at all. I love debating my brother on my own, but I am not.
I will say your brother is incredibly smart. He gave me one of the best debates about like the use cases of a blockchain other than Bitcoin that I've had in a while.
Luckily, I will admit, my brother is not a shitcoiner, but yes, they did build a lot of blockchains, and he is stealth. He was playing a specific manipulative game also, that where he was trying to back you in a corner and you got out of it. And then I was actually hilarious. And I just remember everybody else at the table just like watching you guys. And Tyler had no idea what to say. And then he goes back to Hyperwave, and it was just it was really, sorry to say it because I know guys don't like hearing this word from a girl, but it was very cute. Like it was very cute. Tyler, how do I know Tyler? So my brother, and you guys who watch our channel know, my brother and his son, also Tyler Jenks III. So actually Tyler Jenks is the second. Started their first company at 19 when they went to Babson together. And so I'm 4 years younger than my brother. And so ever since then, our families has just been completely intertwined. I mean, it is 19-year-olds. My brother comes home, says, I'm dropping out of school. My parents are hippies. They're like, oh, cool. That's awesome. You know, it was a little different conversation with other Tyler, but he came to every single Thanksgiving dinner, you know, every single family event, every single everything. And so I grew up with Tyler around the house kind of as a second father. My, you know, brother is godfather to his grandson. Our families are still the closest. And when we were having Thanksgiving dinner and Tyler starts talking about Bitcoin, and I realized that this crazy man is following it, who's been a brilliant man all my life. And we decided to jump in. I mean, I literally almost choked on the turkey. I was laughing so hard. Yeah, so, you know, me going into business with Tyler for Lucid was, you know, 2 years ago. But knowing Tyler as like a second father figure, and being, you know, our two families being the closest possible, where even his son officiated my brother's wedding, and my brother was best man, and again, godfather. That's been since I was a kid. So yeah, it's a long experience. And so I guess I'll stop there because that was your question. But so I guess, yeah, I'll stop there because that was your question before I go on my own little.
No, I was gonna have you talk about how, like, when you got out of business school, you were 21, so you finished what, undergrad when you were 19 or 20?
Yeah.
So you have you did your, which is impressive actually. Economic game theory was your undergrad, and you did your MBA in Spain. You got that at 21. And then you got a job with, was it a hedge fund or was it a bank?
So my specialization was a MIM, Master's in International Management, for IE Business School. And so I worked for, it was called Vital Financial. And we advised two of the top hedge funds on Wall Street, specifically based on FA. For everybody who's watching this channel, you already know I said the TA. But specifically like macro econ trends, and specifically since they're billion-dollar hedge funds, had a LBO, so pretty much like, okay, I think you should buy Sony, go buy Sony, and how to structure it, and the companies would, type of thing, as an example. And yes, and that's my example just simply because I was mostly focused on Asian equities, so very much following the Japanese stock market. But yes, and since I am pretty confident in fundamental analysis, but when it came to questions like, all right, well, what price targets should we actually be considering this full buyout, I had a lot to learn. So that's where Tyler just definitely came in. But maybe question back to you, Tone. Oh, you're talking to your bud. What was? Oh, am I on the full screen? I better not be on.
No, you're not on full screen, but you can keep going. We were I sent you pictures. We were grilling fish earlier, but then for the last 5 hours we've been smoking trout. So it's finally coming off the grill. So I'm gonna grab one on a paper towel. But I'm sorry, keep going.
Okay. Well, if I'm supposed to give a diatribe, not really, but Okay, well, yeah, and actually Awesome Con is here. If anyone knows what Awesome Con is, pretty much Comic Con. It's actually down there, so you're not seeing as many Zelda and other characters walking by, but maybe you will. Okay, to be totally vulnerable on air, let's try this. Because I think that's what this is about. It's been a really tough week, in many regards, but also a really, really beautiful week. Seeing the outpour of honestly beautiful, truly incredible messages from everyone. I mean, just so everybody knows, I forwarded all of them to his family, and it's just been incredible. It's meant the most to them. And as I said, right, like, I've known Tyler for over a decade. My brother, godson to his grandson, and what I've been thinking about a lot this week, and then I'm just coming off, but is my favorite quote, which it is super obnoxious. This is by Frederick Buchner, and anyone who watches the show probably knows that this is my favorite quote, but it is, if I get it all correctly, one life on this earth is all that we get, whether it's enough or not enough. And the obvious conclusion would seem to be, at the very least, we are fools if we don't live it as fully and bravely and beautifully as we can. That's kind of what I've been thinking about, and because I feel like Tyler did. Feel like, and he did it at his age, and that's maybe something that, we can talk about. But I will say that what I've been thinking about is that he did because of the support of those in the crypto community, support of you. So I'm going to totally embarrass you, but just one major thing that I've been thinking about and learning from this week is just, again, from this beautiful outpour of love, from the community, is just the power of community, the power of love. Sorry, I know I sound super girly, but, and also that sometimes really nasty trolls, sorry y'all trolls out there, but are just nasty trolls and not representative though of the collective conscious, and, every message in the Telegram groups, every time Tyler would appear on your show or chat with Ugly or Willie, very, very honestly meant the absolute world to him. We'd filter the troll messages in that there's actually learning lessons to be had from what people say. And I truly believe you shouldn't just disparage or just negate, anything that's said to you just because it may seem, mean or whatever. But there's learning lessons. Like when I started on your show and I absolutely sucked and there was really, really mean messages, mean and almost rapist inappropriate. Let's just be very honest on this episode, no problem. Okay, you just have to kind of filter and see if there are learning lessons in there though, and sometimes there are in certain ways, but it seems that from this week I've noticed it's really not representative of all the love that Tyler had. And sorry to go back to you and maybe embarrass you, I mean, he watched the World's Crypto Network every day, at 65, and okay, I'll make fun of Thomas Hunt. Good morning, Bitcoin was my favorite thing. Good morning, Bitcoin. Anyone that watches that would know that one. Kaiser Report, but he followed you from the very beginning. You were his hero. I mean, and Tyler, for everybody else who doesn't know, I mean, but probably does. He's a massive gold bug, which is a huge amount of us Bitcoiners. I'm not a gold bug, as you guys know. But, a lot are, and, a huge follower of, HXU's true believer in Bitcoin, as much as people want to say no coiner, massive Bitcoiner. And on that point, of being no coiner, because he was trying to make a point about investing. Maybe not everybody understands what he was saying in a lot of his messages, but they were nuanced, and that's true. But I will say, Tom's going to kill me, but he actually helped me navigate my first proper Bitcoin trade on GDAX. Don't kill me on where it was. Okay, I've learned my lesson, but yes, it was on GDAX. Okay, and it was fun. So if I could just keep going a little bit, and then I will be embarrassed by all that I'm saying live right now. But yeah, I mean, I love Tyler as a second father, and our families are so close, as everybody has said, and which is really true. I mean, he was a sweet and gentle man, full of love, but the thing is, everybody here gave him the greatest gift by embracing him and supporting him to do what he always dreamed of doing. And what that is teaching. He always actually wanted to be a professor, and so this community actually allowed him to do that. And, like, as we just talked about, like, Tone can attest this ridiculous and fun memory of Tyler coming with his sheets of paper stacks and, like, again, trying to just, like, with hand-drawn hyperwaves, teach Tone and enroll Tone in this idea, and giving him the Larry Williams originals, and, just the fact that he actually only wanted to introduce it to Tone. And now I was also thinking, Tyler's not perfect. No one is. No one is. And his belief that Bitcoin was going to hit 1,000 was wrong, and that's true. And hopefully it doesn't. I think all of us actually hope it doesn't hit 1,000 because we have Bitcoin interest, but maybe will. Let's hope not. But what he was always honest in his thoughts and opinions, and he explained why he thought that it would hit 1,000 with Hyperwave Phase 7 with his analysis. He took a position and he stood by it. And there's not that many people in the world besides you, Tone, and Tyler that actually do that. And honestly, that's because it's hard to do. It's scary to do. And it's really, really important to do. And people disagreed with the 1,000 with Hyperwave, absolutely, and challenged him. And that's good. And that's something I really wanted to say, is that that's really good, because he also loved it. And let me tell you why. Because that meant that people were considering it, that they thought about it, and came to their own conclusions with their own analysis of Bitcoin price action. And that really, really made him happy, because it meant to him that he was educated, right? Great pupils, like, respectfully challenge their teachers. They push them, and that's how he saw it. That's how we both saw it. We loved it. But, like, you can also see it in Tone's Bull vs. Bear episode. Just with a strong stance, though. And I learned this in writing, that you're able to connect with people on an emotive level, not just an intellectual level. And for sure, Tone, you incite enough people's emotions when you're strong. And that's actually the best, and it takes a lot of cojones. But, that is what challenges us most, to form our own opinions. So the thing is, that's damn beautiful. And not that many people are provocative and can actually stand their own 2 feet for it and keep their convictions. Even when we put probabilities out there that we know, again, it could be wrong, but we still stand by them. There's just not that many people out there. But again, as for challenging, like, numerous times, if you guys have, like, watched the most recent shows with Socrates, who took over for co-hosting, thank you, Saw, and absolutely amazing human. He drew hyperwaves differently, saw different ones, traded them differently, and Tyler learned so much from him. Tyler loved it. Like, and he read every single message in your Telegram groups, and it changed his view, and he also loved that. And, like, sorry, Tom, I'm almost done. And honestly, in this wild west of crypto land, especially with y'all crypto trading geniuses, like, you have very heated debates, but they're often backed up by really, really brilliant TA systems that you guys have all created. And it's just amazing. And in my opinion, that is actually one of the most powerful legacies that Tyler's leaving. This is where I kind of disagree. I don't disagree, but this is my opinion, is that it's not the introduction of hyperwave theory itself, but actually the discussions around it, and that they were a catalyst for these actional and educational debates that continue now. That people across the world from all walks of life can connect with, like-minded individuals. And by that, I actually mean the most beautiful thing ever, which is that, people who want to learn, and debate and think and write. And yearning for knowledge, to learn to the point of making actionable decisions, is one of the most beautiful and inspiring things I've ever seen. And Tyler and I talked about this, I'd say the most out of anything, is just like, him in the Hyperwave Telegram group. He'd be like, can you believe what Sweet Pig said today? Or what JATC said? Or before Socrates joined us, what Socrates was saying. Oh my God. And then sometimes he'd call me after a client meeting and he'd ask if we could refund, one of the sessions, because he learned more from them than he felt that he even imparted. And, I guess just like, for those out there that have studied Immanuel Kant, yes, like, I am a massive nerd, as everybody knows. Like, transcendental idealism also comes to mind. I swear, Tone, I'm almost done. And
keep going, please.
And yeah, because I don't usually often talk too much. What I found most interesting, if you guys will indulge me for a moment, with his ruminations on free will and autonomy, and freedom found, in not just coming to a conclusion, but in the moment we act on it. Okay. And because honestly, at the core of Kant's philosophy, where freedom is defined as a concept which is involved in the moral domain, it comes down to a simple question: what should I do? And the practical reason is based on freedom, and that is freedom. Okay. And why I'm tying this together is, what bigger damn thought experiment, which challenges everything that we know than Bitcoin. And you have a brilliant gentleman in the later years of his life, and it was not that old, but that was obsessed with the revolution of it, the every aspect of just all the disruptive, amazing things about it. But not just that, like what actionably can become of it, because it felt freeing, right? There's something damn epic about us Bitcoiners, and that's that we act. That we're crazy and that we damn act. We challenge the status quo, we fight against it, and most importantly, we challenge others to think about the world differently as well. We shake them, and we're obnoxious about it. And the core tenets of Bitcoin itself challenge you on every single level. Back to the point of creating discussions. Censorship resistance, you have it on right now. And how we feel about our governments, fungibility and lessons to be learned of historicity, as well as what's written in the Genesis block, which I believe is Satoshi's, push for us to believe again in the importance of historicity, consensus, permissionless value transfer, open source, a successful peer-to-peer network, decentralization, that power is divided, widely across many people so that no one is pulled into a single entity. The genius of the advanced cryptography, the importance of not just trusting but verifying, and also, not just taking the easy route. This is a lot for a lot of people to think about, and that's why I think our community is so special, and truly, and why Tyler did too. And for all of us, we come from such weird different walks of life, but we end up in this thought process, and you guys gave him that opportunity to continue to challenge all these things and challenge him, and and he just was so happy, like honestly happy, and even though he would have so much difficulty with tech, absolutely, and fumble around and do very silly things, the ideas of the tech behind it was fascinating to him, of that we even were trying to challenge ourselves to take it to the next level. And I guess just, why did I even bring that up? What does this have to do with Tyler? It's just very simple. I mean, he loved this. He loved all of this. He loved this community. He loved our community. He felt a part of it, and he felt a home in it. And yes, he was older, and not that many people have that opportunity to question everything that we know from 70 years of life, coming to the conclusion about it, and acting on it, and feeling the freedom of being able to do so, and take that further by being embraced and part of the community rather than feeling alone. And so I just have been feeling really, really proud of Bitcoin community, of what a damn strong, silly, motley crew of a community we have. And I'll just end on saying that, like, again, just Bitcoin maximalist and our Bitcoin standard bearer, and thank you, Ugly, for going crazy on this one. And it's Tyler really was, to whatever other people may say. I mean, he loved it on one of our first episodes ever. And again, we never thought we'd have a real YouTube channel that was just like digital permanence. And he went on such a rant. And that's when you were like, Tone, you reached out to me and you were like, okay, I don't mind having you on your show. I know you're a Bitcoin maximalist. And it was like, he's like, easy. And that's because he started going on such a rant about how the first time just all shit coins are barnacles on the boat that is Bitcoin, and went at them hard. And I remember like I didn't even fully like know Tyler's like Bitcoin maximalism to the core, and just started hearing this. I was like, oh my days, this guy is going at it, but he never wavered on that. You know, he was, again, to the point of before, he was very strong in his convictions, and he was a very much a Bitcoin maximalist to his core. It's beautiful. And whether you agreed with him or disagreed with him, that's what makes a community. I mean, disagreements makes a community. You know, why the hell do we want to agree with each other all the time? You know, how would progress be made? But instead, progress is made from, I think, respect and support by challenging each other, right? And therefore, again, I would just end by saying that, like, I actually think, you know, Tyler's legacy to me is bringing people together in Bitcoin and teaching them, you know, his trading techniques, his beliefs in metaphysics to philosophy to, you know, how to structure your own IRAs, to his favorite bands and having people talk about it together. You know, his Selgin system, Consensio, Hyperwave, how he utilized SARs and, you know, Bollinger Bands all differently. His views on gold and econ debt and all these crazy things. You know, he loves to talk about everything. And those are legacy assets and items, and that is absolutely true. And he taught all of that, and that's amazing, and that will always exist. And I still think the biggest legacy, and thank you, Tyler, for this, is the conversations, the new friendships, the debates that were created because of these things that he introduced to our community. And again, you know, I guess just, you know, to end, it's just, that was the shining light for him, was to be part of this Bitcoin community. And I think that he was a beautiful addition that included brilliance and humility and wisdom and authenticity and appreciation and care. And I will stop. And it just got dark on your side, so that means that I probably talked forever, and I apologize for that. I'm very happy the live chat's on them. It's a good thing.
I know yeah, it got dark real quick here. I was actually going to show you guys. I don't know if I still can. This was a piece of trout that was in the smoker for like the last 4 hours. We grilled the other pieces. I have pictures. I sent them to you, Leah, I think. I thought far enough ahead to get a piece of it. I haven't thought far enough ahead to figure out what I'm going to eat it with. But that's okay. It'll just sit here and continue cooking on the desk next to the fire. But
fireside chat.
Yeah, it's a real fireside chat. Hey, so the what I really want to say about Tyler, I honestly took his age for granted. He was not a typical 70-year-old. I mean, my parents are, I think, 71 and 72, and Tyler was already 70. And Tyler was just like, I felt like I was talking to someone that was younger than me, like with way more experience. I mean, Tyler was like, he wasn't like a 70-year-old. He was completely down to earth. He did not act his age. I mean, I was at his house for like 3 days. We were playing poker. We were playing chess. It's unfortunate we never got out and played pool. I mean, there was only so much time. I'm sure we could have gone out and bowling. Like, he was like Tyler was one of those 70-year-olds that could like hang out with 20-year-olds and have a great time, and they would really appreciate it. And that is something that is just like so different. Like, there are so few people, so few baby boomers that could relate to 20-year-olds. And Tyler had this unique ability to relate to people a third of his age. It was unreal.
That's an interesting point that you're
Yeah,
frozen.
go ahead. That was a pause for you, Leah.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just frozen. I never thought about that point. It's really interesting. I mean, yeah, that's an interesting aspect of crypto too, is that we're like a cross spectrum of ages, and mostly younger though. and he was able to communicate and appeal to everybody. But yeah, if anyone saw him in Vegas, I mean, man was slaying at the poker table with some beers. That's very true.
Yeah, and from like a personal side, that's what I really appreciated about him. And look, I know a lot of people give him a lot of slack for his $1,000 prediction, but that's the thing. The only people that give him a hard time about that are people that don't understand money management, people that have not learned to take responsibility for their own decisions. And when I saw the hyperwave model and the hyperwave, I guess, I don't want to call it a theory. I want to call it a hypothesis. And for those that don't understand the difference between a theory and a hypothesis, please go ahead and Google it. Theory versus hypothesis. Because a theory is something that does not have any quantitative data to it. It's just an idea. But a hypothesis is something that already has some kind of evidence behind it. And to me, the hyperwave was a way of quantifying and trading the idea of a bubble, because that's the difference. The difference between, I probably should have told them this, the difference between hyperwave and a bubble is the same difference as between a theory and a hypothesis, because a hypothesis is a lot stronger than a theory. And same thing with a hyperwave. A hyperwave quantifies a bubble, and it's actually tradable. And I'm really happy that I learned it, and we're going to be putting it to use in many things going forward. And I really hope Socrates, stays with it and continues to, build on what Tyler started. And just his understanding of the markets, when he showed me the documents from, I think I must have been the only person to see that document from 1980 of Larry Williams teaching the sequential. And I really hope I can get my hands on the original, because I took some pictures with my cell phone, and I still have the old cell phone with all those pictures. But yeah, something that I mentioned to you in the chat, I really hope that you, me, and Socrates can go over to his house and just go through his financial library, and then, build out the Tyler Jenks financial and trading, investing and trading library. Maybe we'll have it somewhere in physical form where people can come and look at all the books. We can fill it with more books. I'm sure he has a ridiculous amount of books. We can add it to be a digital version as well. I would love to do something in that regard, because the amount, I mean, almost everything in trading that I've mentioned to him, literally, he had the original documents of said thing. It's like, hey Tyler, I about 20 years ago I learned this indicator. What do you think about it? And his answer would be, well, I happen to have the documents from the year that it was actually invented, and I attended when it was presented for the first time. Like, I don't know how he managed to do that. And that's it. Like, I don't know anyone else that was there when these things were invented. It's really remarkable.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't agree more. He was a sponge. He watched. I never understood how he was able to watch you and everybody and still watch it. I mean, it's insane. I mean, we definitely lost a really bright light in this world. But still have him in so many ways with everything that he still has. Tone, what you doing in the back now? It's getting kind of freaky back there.
I know it's really dark over here, but no, I get the fire going. I still have a few logs next to me, but I can always go get some more. I have wow, we cut down 8 trees off this property, so I got plenty of firewood here for a while. You and Thor have really got to come up here. It'll be awesome.
I'm in. Maybe next week. I've been going to the mountains every day. I'm in for another road trip. Currently not in the mountains, so going insane. Tomorrow, going horseback riding in the mountains. So that'll be good. But yeah, we're in. We're always in for adventure.
Yeah, but I'm also gonna try and like I know I've been very like I gotta take some lessons from Tyler. I mean, he was just so nice to everyone, considering how people like the trolls that were going at him, and he was always so nice. And I gotta take some lessons from that. I'm sure. Like, I don't think I'll be an angry old man when I get to 70. I think I'm gonna try and be more like Tyler when I hit 70. I mean, I still you and I still never had our little, you think you're better than me at pool. So I never played Tyler at pool because he was supposed to be good. But you and I have a little, best of 5 coming up next time we're hanging out somewhere with a pool table.
Easy. I will say, and this is not downing Tyler, but the two Tylers, Socrates and I, destroyed in pool. Socrates is a real pool shark. I'll say that, by the way. By the way, if anyone, watching, he was pro poker player, almost pro golfer. Like he's good at like everything. But yeah, we were an epic team. And yes, Tony, like I'd put money down. We could even publicly put money down that I will eat your butt in billiards anytime.
You know what? That would be that would be an awesome live stream actually. Like I don't have a pool table I don't have a pool table at my place. I got a friend in DC, my old college roommate from Florida State. He's got a nice pool table in his basement. Maybe I'll come down to DC and we'll go over to my friend's place and maybe we'll live stream that in Tyler's because I know Tyler used to shoot pool and you and Socrates played him. That'd be awesome. We could just like talk Bitcoin and shoot pool.
That'd be actually sounds incredible, and probably for everybody watching sounds like the perfect night is shooting pool, having a drink, and talking about Bitcoin. Easy, done. Also, you were gonna announce something.
Yeah. So, yeah, probably a good time to do it now. We're at 1,200 viewers. All right,
Actually,
guys.
Wow, it's a good thing I'm not watching for the first time.
All right, guys. I'm gonna go to screen share for a second. So probably bad
There's that
timing.
many live viewers.
It does have its own website, but you can also redirect from tonebase.com in the conference section. So this was supposed to be announced earlier this week, but in light of the circumstances of Tyler, it was delayed. I almost canceled it, but it's called, and I can't believe we got this website domain, thefinancialsummit.com. So we're going to organize it's not exactly a conference. It's more like somewhere a cross between a boot camp and a networking event called the Financial Summit. I want it to be the Financial Summit over the years to come. The first one is going to take place in Bali, and it's 6 nights, 6 days, 6 nights long. And it's only open to about 30 people. I'm not even sure if it's 30 attendees or 30 people in total. It depends on the capacity of the venue. It's in Bali. It's a high-end event. I want to see if there is a market for the high-end crowd. Now, I know everyone is this is probably one of the best resorts in Bali. And it's going to be a small event of probably 25 attendees. It's going to have an educational component. It's focused on 3 parts. It's going to have an educational component for some really advanced money management, trading, and investing. It's going to have this is the investing angle. It's also kind of designed to connect money managers like hedge funds with talented traders. So it's also a bit of a networking event. I know the cost is a lot. It's actually 1 Bitcoin with a $9,000 floor. So if the price of 1 Bitcoin falls below 9,000, we're going to update the website a little bit. If the price of 1 Bitcoin falls below 9,000, the price will be 9,000 payable in Bitcoin. You will get all of my webinars with registration. Hopefully you will get Lucid Investments webinars as well. We haven't really fully talked about it. Tyler was really looking forward to it. I will also announce that at least 50% of profit, if this turns out to be profitable, because we are going to pay for a lot of these rooms up front, and hopefully we will, get enough attendance. If this event is profitable, at least 50% of the profits will go towards Tyler's legacy. We haven't decided yet. I mean, myself, Leah, Socrates, and Tyler's family, we will decide what to do with the profits from this event, whether it'll go towards Tyler's family or building out the library that I mentioned earlier. It'll go to a good cause in regards to Tyler and what he was trying to build with Lucid. And another component, this is a really luxury resort that it's going to take place on. The registration does cover all expenses except your flight to get to Bali, but everything else is covered, including a daily massage. If you want a complimentary 60-minute massage every day, or a body scrub, or gym access, beachfront access. It's a really high-end resort. Everything is inclusive: food, drinks, everything. It's a combination of networking and an educational event. And the other aspect of it is, you see, it's almost like two registration forms, but the first one is not a registration form. I've had a lot of requests from people that have either attended my workshop or others, where people have come up with profitable trading strategies, and they really want access to capital or resources to help them build on those strategies. So this would be your chance. So you can submit your trading strategy if you care to share it, because like I always say, if you have a profitable trading strategy, just shut up, disconnect from the internet, and make money. But a lot of us like to share them. So if you want to share it in a private group of people that can help you take that strategy to the next level, this is your chance. So you get a 50%. Wow, that sounded like something big is running through the woods, and I can't see what it is. This is not a good sign. It's a deer? It's a big deer. All right, well, at least a deer. Let's. There are black bears in these woods, so yeah.
You know what you do when you see a black bear?
Yeah. Since I can't see a black bear, you guys will see it if it shows up. But so for those that want to share a strategy that they want to monetize, either write up the code in TradingView and selling it, or connecting with a hedge fund that may potentially everybody benefits by having more capital with that strategy. This is the form for that. We will select up to 10 people, and you get a 50% reduction. So basically 50% reduction is pretty much the cost of this quasi vacation. And then you get to present that strategy. You get grilled on it by people like myself and Ugly Old Goats coming. And I'm pretty sure Socrates will come. I know Tyler was definitely he was gonna be one of the highlights to help teach money management. But I'm still in talks with Willie and maybe a few others. Initially, we did have pictures of instructors, but I took that down in light of Tyler. That's gonna come probably in a week, but I wanted to get this out there. So anyway, please read this over. Think about it. It is for professional traders, for high net worth, financially independent individuals. It's for hedge funds and other money managers. And it's basically a networking event and an educational event for high level trading and investing. It's definitely not for people that have a job with a salary to support their families. I want to see if we can do something in this realm, and we'll see how it goes. The first one is in Bali, and I'd like to take this event around Asia every year, maybe the Philippines, maybe Thailand. But please check this out. The website is thefinancialsummit.com. Read it over. Those of you that have been trading professionally, for a while independently, may want to come and meet other high-level traders or high-level hedge fund representatives. That's the target that we are following. Leah, you will, of course, be here, right?
You know it.
All right. I'll bring you more information as it comes, but the website is out and open for registration. All right, guys, that's my announcement. More info coming. We will get somewhere on the front page that at least 50% of the profits will go in towards Tyler's visions.
So, Tone, shall I challenge you as per usual?
Of course.
We have 8 minutes left, and we're sitting. Oh man, get me off the screen. This is terrifying. Although it's a pretty sky actually, and we're sitting at 94.29. What's up in Bitcoin?
We should probably take a look at the price.
It is actually kind of crazy. It is a trader's heaven right now, actually, in Bitcoin.
It is. Today is Saturday, so this week is almost over, guys. This has not, the price this week, I know it's been going crazy, but taking a step back and taking a look at the bigger picture, the weekly chart does not look very good. This is a red 2 candle. It did not go below the red 1. But if this candle closes near the bottom of the week, it's not going to take much for Monday's price to drop below the current week's price. And if that happens, that activates a short trade on the weekly scale, which has not occurred since January. The last time a red sequential number went below the prior red sequential number took place the 3rd week of January. So that's been a long time. This was not, this clearly did not turn out to be a very profitable trade to the short side, but that's hindsight. But that's when the short trade activates. So I don't want to move this line up to the bottom of current candle because we can break and make a lower low overnight. So I'll leave it where it is for the current candle. But keep in mind that this weekly candle is not very bullish looking. Let's go take a look at the daily. The daily is troublesome. I'm not exactly sure why this line is green. I really don't remember why I made it green. This line should really be red because from a daily perspective, using sequential, which is one of my indicators, the short trade activated upon the break lower than this line that is just above $10,000 on July 23rd. Now, I know the price of Bitcoin has been volatile, but if you're like me and you kind of tuned everything out for the last 4 to 5 days, like me, like Leah, like Socrates, like a lot of people that just adored Tyler Jenks, we kind of tuned it all out. And when you tune it all out and you look at and you come back to the markets today, this is a very bad sign because the Bitcoin price on a daily scale is on the verge. Wait a minute, this candle must have just started, I believe, because the candle flips over. We are on the verge of having the lowest daily close since June 20th. This is a new monthly low close. Now we are on a 7 of 9. So it's very possible that in 2 days, we're going to have a little bit of a bounce. But right now, the daily chart is not very bullish, but it's coming to the end of its, momentum bearish run. With a 9, it can bounce back. Now, I can already tell you right now, probabilistically speaking, the 9 that's coming in 2 days, and I'm assuming the 9 is going to come. It doesn't have to. But if the 9 shows up in 2 days, it's a very likely 9 that's only going to lead to a 1 to 4 day correction, followed by more downside. That is what this 9 is looking like. This is not a very bullish looking chart because we are approaching the prior low. And there's no support anywhere until you get to the 128 day moving average, which currently sits at $8,000. The 12-hour chart just updated on us, and it did go a little bit higher than I initially anticipated, but the 12-hour chart is only on a 3 of 9. And in fact, the 12-hour chart being on a 3 of 9 with the daily being a 7 is fully in line with the daily. That means there's a high probability that if the prices keep going down and start to fall below 9,000, the 12-hour and the daily will both hit a 9 approximately at the same time, because we have 3 days left, and over here we have 6 candles left. So 3 and 6. I mean, this is the 12-hour chart. It's twice as long. So the 12-hour and the daily could both hit a 9 at the same time if prices continue to decline over the next 3 days. The 4-hour has some support in this setup trend line right here at just above 9,000. So let's see if it can hold it up. Right now we're consolidating, and if we stay here, the prices will flip. This was the prior swing low on a 4-hour chart. And once we broke it, things got a little bad. The 1-hour chart isn't really telling us much. Interesting how the Bitcoin dominance chart, I have it as a line chart, not as a candlestick chart. It's very interesting how it topped on a 913, and now it's on a 9 to the upside. So there's a chance Bitcoin dominance could now start to rise. I'm not going to look at those.
Hey, John.
Yeah, what's up?
Nice and provocative. Actually, at one point, I'm going to start messing with my oil and gas trades. We'll put it on the show. I have a Litecoiner in this bar, and you want to look at Litecoin really quickly, actually, because it's kind of interesting. And
sure.
Then we shall end this.
Here's Litecoin versus Bitcoin. It bounced off of this 9 right here. This is the daily 9 on July 16th. The bounce didn't amount to much. And the Litecoin halving is about a week and a half away, 2 weeks away. And it's not really moving all that much to the upside. I mean, for Litecoin, if Litecoin falls below these lows, Litecoin is in serious trouble. I mean, everyone, including Socrates, have expected Litecoin to do much better in light of the halving that's coming up. And if it doesn't, Litecoin is in serious trouble once the halving shows up. This is not what you're expecting in light of the halving. So Litecoin is treading water right now, but this is not looking good. Right now, the chart is totally neutral. Like, I can't think of anything more neutral than the Litecoin chart. The weekly chart is still in a bearish posture, but the daily is as neutral as it gets. Just have to wait a few more days. These moving averages are coming down and coming down hard. And Litecoin falls below 0.009. I think it's in serious trouble. Just going to run through my charts real quick. The US dollar is almost at a yearly high. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. The US, let me correct myself. The US dollar is almost at a 2-year high. And I don't know what to say, but if you're listening to gloom and doom bloggers that keep talking about the destruction of the dollar, you really want to start making different choices in who you're following. The euro is in serious trouble. It is on the verge of a new 2-year low. And that I can't tell you how bearish that is for the euro. This is a horrible looking chart. And according to weekly sequential, this is only getting started, especially if it closes below the setup trend line this week or next week. I think this week it's already closed. It's Saturday. So next week, if we start trading below the setup trend line and close there, the euro is in serious, serious trouble against the US dollar. Gold closed on a 9. Not exactly a panicky 9. I wouldn't exactly sell this 9. but gold is, I'm impressed with how good gold is holding up in light of the dollar strength. I really am. Wait, I gotta throw a few more logs on the fire here. 1 second. At least one more. Oh, I totally missed that one. Oh, lost it. That's okay. We'll keep it going. Oil is, I would not be interested in oil right now. The S&P 500, I am really impressed with the S&P 500. I really thought it was going to have a pullback, but it just closed at a brand new weekly high. I really don't know what to say. This is an enormous channel. This is the monthly channel that I drew recently, and it's just the S&P is stronger than even I could have imagined. And outside of the talking heads on CNBC, I'm one of the biggest S&P bulls that's out there. So I'm really impressed. And I gotta mention Netflix. What a bounce off the 9 here. Just like, I was only looking for a 1 to 4 candle correction, but like I think Netflix is gonna close this gap. I mean, that's just a monster push off of that 9. And that's what you have to do, guys. If you're gonna trade sequential, and the notification service registration is gonna start probably next week. We'll try to give you more guidance, and I hope you guys are part of that Telegram channel for the notification service. I'm really itching to trade again, but I have to stop traveling, and I'm not ready to stop traveling. So I think I have one more good year or two of traveling, and then maybe it's time to get back into trading, because I don't know, I'm really starting to miss it. Leah's gonna help me.
Okay. You're not gonna go with my I'm really big into minerals right now. You're not gonna go with the way that I trade.
All right, that's it on the markets, guys. Once again, hey, if you are interested in a high level investor trading and connecting with hedge funds, hopefully, I'm trying to speak to some hedge funds and trying to have them come and represent at this event. It will be called the Financial Summit. I want this to be the financial summit around the world annually. And the first one will take place in Bali at a high-end resort. Tyler was going to be a big part of this. It's a beautiful resort overlooking the beach. The price tag is not cheap. It's 1 Bitcoin with a $9,000 floor, but the amenities you get with attendance are unreal. You can see it right here. You get all of my webinars included with registration, because we want to go right into advanced stuff. Ugly Old Goat, Zen, hopefully Willy Woo, and perhaps a few other very respected traders and analysts will be here with you. And if you want to share, this will not be live streamed. There will not be any cameras. I will not do any videos. Probably, maybe I'll do one during this time. But if you do want to share a profitable trading strategy to be monetized by a hedge fund, or to be involved with someone with capital, fill out this form, present your strategy. We will review it, and we will select 5 to 10 people to present for a 50% discount, because you are sharing what is potentially a monetizable and a profitable strategy. Please read this over, and 50% of the proceeds, at least 50% of the proceeds, if this event makes any kind of a profit, will go towards Tyler Jenks and his visions and his legacy, and perhaps his family. We will decide between myself, Leah, Socrates, Tyler's son, Tyler's wife, what to do with those proceeds. Oh, Leah, you got it. You got your drink. You got a Pisco.
I did get another Pisco. All right.
I got exactly 1 sip left here. I still have my smoked grill smoked trout that I haven't touched yet. but I'm about to. Hey, you did great. It was great talking about Tyler. Tyler was just, man, like, he gave me so much confidence as to what I was doing, because when I started this channel, when I started talking about markets, I had confidence. I had enough confidence because I was a profitable trader. But after I met Tyler, like, he helped me take my confidence in my own trading and analysis to just another level. Spending private time with Tyler was just amazing. And like you said, Tyler was like, I was the guy that Tyler wanted to share Hyperwave with, because that was like his baby. And when we were in Malta, I can't believe he flew all the way out to Malta. That was amazing. But when we were in Malta, you remember when we were on that route? Do you have to go? You okay?
No, yeah. I froze, and yes. Okay, keep going. I'm just thinking about the ridiculous stories with Malta and you and Tyler. Yeah.
Yeah, so when we were in Malta and we were sitting on that rooftop, Zazo was there. It was you, me, Zazo. I'm trying to remember. Daisy was there. Daisy, the amazing photographer. I think like one or two other people were there, and Tyler and I was sitting on the couch, and I was drinking a little too much, and Tyler was the only person I shared. I have two proprietary option trading strategies. So one of them is known by two other people. One of them was my old college roommate that you've never met, and he still trades it. And we've taught one of our other college friends. But the other option strategy,
I know your strategy. You told me in Madrid.
maybe. I don't remember that one. How much did you get me drunk?
Absolutely. I will take it to the grave. But yes. Okay, keep going. Yes, we had fun in Malta.
and I was drinking a little too much in Malta, and I was sitting on the couch next to Tyler, and I started talking to him about options. And I told him, like, I didn't tell him which stocks I did it on. There's only like two stocks that I've ever found to do this on. But I explained it to him, but I didn't tell him the stock. I mean, there's 3,000 stocks. I mean, figuring out what stock I do it on is almost impossible. But I explained to him the strategy, and like the look on his face, because he knows everything about finance, he knows everything about options. But my option strategy, this one that only I, as far as I know, only I know, it literally involves the fact. I shouldn't even say that. Basically, this strategy could not, like, it was impossible to do it 3 years ago. Like, it was just like, it didn't exist. Like you couldn't have done it. I'm not going to explain why you couldn't have done it, but 3 or 4 years ago, it was impossible to do. Well, like the ability didn't even exist. And I explained it to him, and like the look on his face, it like blew his mind, because he has seen and done everything, but what I told him, he never even considered. And like that moment, like, I don't know if you saw when because you were right there. I don't know if you saw when he was like just like going crazy and like dumbfounded. He's like, oh my god, like he was like lying back in his chair going nuts.
Okay, I remember it now. So yeah, so we were in that like clubby aspect of the hotel, and yeah, so Adam was there, and the guy from
Yes.
X, and Daisy came a little bit later, and you guys, the three of us were on the couch, me, you, and Ty, and you turn over to him and you guys quietly talk about it, and yes, and he was silent for the rest of the evening, and people were trying to talk to him because it was like the first night there or whatever, and he just like couldn't speak, and it was so adorable. It was so adorable. I do remember that. And I remember the next day he's just like, Tone, I know it. Like, he was speechless. It was amazing. But I will say, Tone, he loved you. Really loved you. No, you can take the chair. All All right.
No,
I also saw like 3 rats during this conversation.
oh
So,
boy.
thanks for this, and thank you everybody for watching. But thank you, Tone, for
Yeah.
the catharsis of this for me.
Thank you guys. I'm planning to rewatch every single one of Tyler's videos on Hyperwave. I'm gonna try and pick out some really good quotes. I'm gonna cut them out. I'm gonna be posting them as like 2-minute clips on Twitter. And there's so many lessons there. Just his 40-year knowledge of the market. You have to watch it. I mean, the amount of free content that's there in your education is unreal. So please join me in rewatching the entire Hyperwave channel. You can watch it on 2x speed as you drive in your car on YouTube, but please do it. I plan to, and I really can't wait to see it. You never even got to say goodbye. I couldn't believe it. There's nothing we can say.
Thank you, Tone. And also, Tony, you were the one that had him on the show, and everybody who's probably watching actually were introduced to us through you. But also, everybody's watching messages that you sent on Twitter are just incredible, and his whole family has been reading them and just cannot believe this family that he's been able to surround himself with, and just so much love. So thank you to everybody. Amazing. Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And as you rewatch them, if you wanna, I forgot the name of this website, but there's a website that you can just like cut out a YouTube video. You just put in a start time and an end time, and Twitter videos are up to 2 minutes and 15 seconds. If you find an amazing clip of Tyler saying something, cut it out, cut that 2 minutes out, throw it on Twitter, tag me, tag Leah. Let's get his wisdom out there, guys. Help us.
Love it. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. And more content starting next week.
Done.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.